Half of India's population is missing from its growth story. Women contribute just 18% to India's GDP today. Think about that for a moment. A nation that dreams of becoming a $30 trillion economy by 2047 cannot afford to take nearly half its people invisible in the very data that drives policy and investment. The numbers are stark. Nearly 196 million employable women are outside the workforce. The female labor force participation rate has improved to 41.7%, but only 18% of these women are in the formal employment. The challenge then is not only how India creates opportunities for women, but also how it ensures those opportunities are visible, measurable, and acted upon across every arm of governance. And that is where a quiet revolution has begun in Uttar Pradesh. The government of Uttar Pradesh recently launched the Women's Economic Empowerment Index (WEE) Index, the first of its kind in India. This district level tool tracks women participation across 5 crucial levels: employment, education and skilling, entrepreneurship, livelihood and mobility, and safety and inclusive infrastructure. But the power of this index lies beyond numbers. It represents a shift in mindset. For the first time, a government is saying women's presence, their work, their struggle must not remain invisible in the data. Because what we cannot measure, we cannot reform. India already produces multiple indices on health, economic well-being and infrastructure, but very few of them disaggregate data by gender. Without a gender lens, gap remains hidden. Without visibility, reforms stall, and without reforms, exclusion becomes entrenched. The WEE index challenges this by moving beyond surface level counts. It does not stop at enrollment numbers. It asks how many women are retained, how many move into leadership, how many re-enter the workforce after dropping out. What is the quality of employment? Consider this. In Uttar Pradesh, women make up more than 50% of enrollment in skilling programs. But when it comes to registered entrepreneurs, the numbers fall drastically. Their access to credit is even more limited. This is not just a gap, it is a systematic barrier, and once data makes that barrier visible, policy can respond. The index has already sparked change. In UP's transport sector, data revealed how few women worked as bus drivers and conductors. It also showed the lack of basic infrastructure like restrooms in bus terminals. Armed with this insight, the government redesigned recruitment strategies and improved facilities. Small changes, yes, but catalytic. Changes that would not have happened without gender-specific data. The lesson is clear. If inequalities remain hidden, nothing happens. When inequities become visible, action follows. The implications go far beyond Uttar Pradesh. States like Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Odisha and Telangana have already set trillion-dollar economic strategies, but they cannot achieve them without tapping into their gender dividend. A framework like the WEE index can help them move from intent to implementation, turning data into district-wise action plans that guide budget allocations, infrastructure priorities, and programmatic reforms. But for this to succeed, India must also rethink gender budgeting. Too often, gender budgeting is confined to finance departments or a few women's welfare schemes. True gender budgeting means applying a gender lens to every rupee cent, whether in education, energy, infrastructure, or healthcare, because you cannot budget for what you do not measure. This requires systematic change. Every government department must integrate gender disaggregated data into its management information systems. From MSMEs to housing, from transport to energy. Local government must be trained to collect and use this data to build effective gender action plans. If India is serious about closing its gender gap, this must become universal and normative, not an exception but the rule. Because let us be clear, India's gender gap is not new, but India's response to it must evolve. The WEE index is not the finish line, it is the starting block. It makes visible what has long been invisible. It makes where women drop off, where they are held back, where they are denied access, and it offers a roadmap to move women from the margins to the mainstream of India's growth story. For India to reach its $30 trillion dream by 2047, inclusive growth is not optional, it is essential. Because no nation can rise while leaving half its people behind. So what do you think? Should every state adopt a women's economic empowerment index to ensure that women are part of India's growth story? Share your thought in the comment section and do not forget to subscribe to Lal Mirch. See you in the next video. Jai Hind.